So yesterday we got the CPI numbers from the US. Now, CPI stands for Consumer Price Index, and that's one way to measure inflation. Actually, we use CPI all across the world. Now, why did this number matter? Because it comes before the Fed meeting in September, which everybody was thinking could be a meeting where the Fed starts to hike again. Now, I've held that this view is wrong. I don't think the Fed would hike so easily. I think they would need a lot more evidence. And yesterday, what we got was no news, meaning inflation didn't increase or decrease. So, what we're seeing right now is a situation where the Fed needs more evidence for them to be able to hike. Let's not forget that the Fed was actually on an easing path, meaning that they were in the process of reducing rates, right? And now they're holding rates for a longer time. So, in effect, that is having a similar tightening effect on the economy. Now, when we look at yields, bond yields, those have started to reprice higher on the expectation that the Fed will hike. And that, in and of itself, is having a tightening effect on the economy. However, what do we think stocks can do from here? I think stocks can grind higher. And I was asked a question whether this is only because of the AI cohort and the hyperscalers. Well, not exactly. In fact, what we're seeing is earnings are starting to slow in the AI cohort, and the rest of the market is actually starting to pick up. So when we look at US earnings, they're about to post a 40 to 50% increase in earnings growth. That's massive, actually, and that's very bullish for the market. But given that we still have a war and we still have higher oil prices, I think some of that expectation can be dampened. Nevertheless, we're seeing superb profit margins as well. And when we look at all of this combined and the bigger picture of US economic growth, relatively strong or resilient, and we see the labor market is kind of stable. That's not going anywhere either. It's kind of frozen. There's no hiring, there's no firing. Um, we think that this could sort of push the overall stock market higher. So something to keep an eye on. Yes, we will have pullbacks along the way. That's very normal for any market, but I think stocks could go higher from here.